Sashtang Dandot Pranam to all the exalted Vaishnavas, devotees, servitors at the lotus feet of Srila Bhakti Sundar Govind Dev-Goswamī Maharāj and Srila Bhakti Rakṣhak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswamī Maharāj serving worldwide. To our friends, well-wishers and seekers, our Hardik Namaskar, welcome to our Friday evening online Sangha. I have Shripad Arun Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam, welcome. Arun Prabhu, you're muted.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Perfect. Thank you.
Dandavad.
Dandavad. So we're reading from the Golden Staircase, and I actually happen to have the physical copy. So we will begin from where we left off last time. And the first chapter that we were reading from is the conscious sky. So the section that we're going to pick up from is titled Withdraw from Knowledge. So this is Param Guru Maharaj. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, first chapter, verse number 2 says, Vedyam vastam atra vastu shivadam tapatrayana moolanam. Reality is vastavam vastu. The real substance above all of the unreal, imaginary things of this world. All the accumulated knowledge in relation to this world is a wholesale concoction. It is a result of misreading the environment and is full of misinterpretation and misconception. The whole thing, the vocabulary, the history, the epics, the whole thing, whatever has been collected is all a misrepresentation of the truth. And we are in the midst of that. We are captivated within that. But at the same time, we have the capacity to enter the plane of real life because we are a particle of that higher world. So we must go back to God, back to home. Home is there. What charm can there be for us here where there is death and then birth again, and where everything is stale and produces dissipation and suffering? Mortality, suffering, and death. And even then it is not finished. We must continuously come here again and again and follow the same course of life. So try to obtain relief and help others also to take up their proper life away from this undesirable atmosphere. We must go back to Godhead, where everything is wonderful. What is that Godhead? Our home is there. Our home, sweet, sweet home. We are a child of that soil, and the scriptures urge us. You have got this human form, this chance, so always try, by all means, by thinking, by meditation, by talking, by hearing, to cultivate your own true identity, your noble identity, in your homeland, where the soul lives. Always, always, always engage yourself in that. Try to avoid this plane of misconception by any means and enter into that land. I want to pause here. What do you think about what Param Guru Maharaj just explained to us in these opening paragraphs? Arun Prabhu.
Prabhuji, as I say, a person who is initially biased or situated in external view will find it extremely hard to understand the truth that is being said here. Only by a little introspection, some honest application of logic or analysis, if somebody has done that, then at least they will see some aspect of this truth that is being said. And Prabhuji, if somebody has shelter of Gurudev or Vaishnavas and devotees, then to those people this will not come as a surprise. Reiteration of the truth. That is the way I understand Prabhupada.
Because this is extremely stark, the way Param Guru Maharaj has completely, entirely rejected everything. What we seem to understand as education and as meritocracy has been wholesale rejected at the very outset. And he's actually pointing out the components, like the vocabulary, the history, the epics, the whole thing.
It is similar to if somebody says, hey, look how good this material form is. Look at this stick. Look at this iron rod. Look, this is real. But if somebody examines that reality through X-rays or gamma rays, it will find only emptiness. So it gives an appearance, but in terms of material, there is really emptiness. It is not what it is. It is another very gross materialistic way to give an example. So, two things. One, what has expanded out in the material world is, first of all, misconception and misidentification. Secondly, what has come into our brain has come through temporal learning, since in a very haphazard way when the child is growing up, it builds up its own truths and then build on those falsities of perceived truths, other truths. And eventually they say, okay, based on my experience of this life, this is what it is. But the fact is, those senses are not perfect. Those senses are most dull. So whatever perception you build out of learning and thinking that what I have sensed through my senses as the true nature of reality, obviously, but obvious, that would be based on a wrong perception, wrong understanding. And all the morals that come up from that will be also distorted, imaginary. In fact, the degrees of freedom grows up very quickly. And so what Guru Maharaj is saying, in my view, even if you look from a very materialistic point of view, is on the dot. That's the way I understand it.
Hari Bol. So Guru Maharaj is beginning this from that verse, Dharma projit kaitavotra parmo nirmatsaranam satam vedyam vastamatra vastu shivadam tapatrayonumulanam. So here again at this point of this particular state of evolutionary consciousness, we have come to a stage where Srimad Bhagavatam is announcing or sharing that Vedyam Vastamatra Vastu, that from here on out we are only concerned with Vastava Vastu, real substance. We are not concerned about in the previous line it says Dharma Projit Kaitavotra Paramo Nirmat Saranam Satam. So all the cheating or the misconception or even the any kind of religious conception that one may entertain or follow, which is entirely outward, is rejected. In summary, is just rejected. So Vedyam Vastavatra Vastu, we are from here on out, we are only concerned with reality, with the real substance. Everything else, or all those things that have worked to get you to this point, just wash them clean. Vastavatra Vastu, Shivadam. And to go on from here on out, is Shivadam, is all auspicious. Tapatrayanam Moolanam, and will destroy the misery, the suffering, the threefold Trayamul, that has three roots. From the root, Moolanam. That is the beginning. So going back to Param Guru Maharaj. Going back to Godhead means going back to our own soil, our real home. What is night to us now, that will make our day. Where there is presently darkness to us, we are to find light there. And what is so apparently plain and expressively clear, that must be neglected. Ya nisha sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati sanyami. Yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisha pashyato mune. So in the apparent world, in the plane of experience where everyone or the masses are active, for us that is supposed to become night. And we are to wake up to that higher reality. Back to Param Guru Maharaj. In our earnest calculation, the entire world of exploitation and self-interest should be kicked into the darkness. And we should withdraw wholesale from that knowledge. And what is dark to us now, we should try to make light by always giving our attention, thoughtful consideration and adherence to achieving residence in the higher soil, the land of wonders, where everything is wonderful. Ascharyavat paschati kaschidenam ascharyavat vadati tathaiv channa. Ascharyavat chayanam anna shrunoti shrutva painam vedana chaiva kaschit. Hare Krishna. Shadow, substance and sound. That's the next title, section. The spiritual plane is substantial. And why are things as they are here? This is the reflection of that plane, a perverted reflection. So that nature is also to be found here, but the substance is there. And this is like a shadow. The shadow is unsubstantial. Without real existence, the substance is itself real existence. So the shadow is unsubstantial without real existence. The substance is itself real existence. The difference is great. The Upanishads say, Yasmin vigyate sarvam idam vigyatam bhavati. Yasmin prapte sarvam idam praptam bhavati. By knowing that spiritual domain, everything is known. By attaining that, everything is attained. We have been told this in a general way, but that does not mean that with this consciousness you will arrive in that plane and everything will then be in your fist. No. More and more you will continue to have an intense hankering to approach, to advance. And the more satisfaction you get, the more earnestness you will have to go forward, to go on. It is not to be finished. Here also in the shadow, we do not find any finish. And this is the reflection. So it is a dynamic affair. Go onward, more. But substance and shadow, that is the difference. That world cannot be eliminated. It is constant, eternal. There the soul is finding real substance. But still he's not satisfied. I want more. That is the nature of real substance. And sound will reveal it. Here, sound is the most subtle thing. But there, it is just the opposite. There, sound is a gross thing. That is what reflection means. And it is perverted. So the right hand in the reflection is the left hand. And in the reflection of a tree, the top of the tree is in the bottom position. Urdhava moolam madashakam ashvatham prahuravayam tandam syasya paranani yastam vedasa vedavid. Hare Krishna. So in the plane of substance, sound is the most concrete thing. The subtlemost plane here, the nearest, innermost plane, that of sound, can cross over the many coverings of this world and come in connection with the nature of that existence, where the cover of that world is comprised of sound. So through sound, we can go inside there. Sri Dev-Goswamī says, Pratham namanah shravanam atah karna shuddhe artham apekshayam. Shuddhe chanta karne rupa shravanena tad udaya yogyata bhavati. Samyak udite cha rupe gunanam spuranam sampadayate. Tatastesh nama rupa guna spurateshva eva lila nama spuranam. Bhavatitya abhipretya sadhana kramo likhita. Evam kirtana smaranayoscha gyayam. Bhakti Sandarbha, paragraph 256. First listen to the holy name and cultivate that sound divine. Then gradually, if we do it properly, we can find that next there is color and figure. Not drawn from this mundane world, but that sound has got its own figure and color and will show itself. Although we are presently far away from our original consciousness, when our mind is purified and we are free from worldly mundane thinking, then like lightning, that divine name will reveal itself to us, producing some color and figure within us, within our conception. And that form will be of another type, not like the color and figure of this world. From the relativity of that sound will first come the color and figure, and next the quality. In this way, one will spring from the other. Such sound must have such color and figure, and such figure automatically must have such quality. It will come forth from within. Then again, that quality is classified according to different intensities relative to the paraphernalia. From the quality, after the quality will come the association, and it will all come from the other plane and enter within the soul's conception. Then from the name, form, quality, and associates will come their mutual transactions, the interaction between all these things, the waves and vibrations of different types. That is pastimes, Leela. And then the soul will find that his purest, finest ego, who he really is, also has a part to play in such a position. He will see his own soul in a particular place, a particular location there. He will see, in this exact spot, I am there. Myself is there. In this way, the infinite wave will come. Hare Krishna.
I was reading this many times to really get a sense of what Maharaj is saying. To me, this is all new and beautiful. What can I say?
The name, the holy name will reveal itself. And when he reveals himself, then, as Param Guru Maharaj is revealing to us.
I got him.
Okay, thank you. Dandavad, welcome, Chinmoy Prabhu.
Dandavad, sorry I'm late. Emergency.
No problem.
Okay.
Param Guru Maharaj is explaining that how the name reveals himself. So he's giving us that insight into the conscious world and at the very center of the conscious world.
Right.
And so he's saying that first, the sound he will produce, like lightning, he will reveal himself, and then some form, but which is not of this world, that will come within our conception. So then we will be able to appreciate what real form is. And then with form, then qualities. The various qualities will come, and we will be able to appreciate those. Then associates and paraphernalia. All these things are coming into our view, into our conception, into our purified experience, not the experience of this plane. And then all of these things, all of these various principles and personalities will interact in the most beautiful and harmonious way, and that is Leela. That is the dynamism. Then he says we will be able to find and locate ourselves in that entire Chidvilas, in that conscious plane, in the centermost conception of reality, the subtlemost. We will be able to locate and pinpoint ourselves and be able to participate in that dynamic, spontaneous flow. And none of this is like a fleeting glimpse. And this is all concrete. And we are told when this happens, then we will completely and entirely lose all belief or sense of reality of this plane that we are right now in. Such is the power of that infinite wave. So the insight that has been given to us is of such an extreme nature that it goes all the way. So that is the conclusion of the first chapter, the conscious sky. And thanks to Chinmoy Prabhu, I have an actual physical coffee. So now, what do you say, Chinmoy Prabhu?
Oh, I said the physical copy that you showed is blurred by the software, so we can't see what is written on it. Yeah.
Well, let me
We get a
replace.
glimpse of it.
Let's see. No, it still does it show now? No.
No, it does not.
Okay, it does show on the
On the Facebook.
Facebook, yeah, and
That's
it's
good enough.
really nice. The golden staircase, the font is like classic calligraphy, nice cursive, flowing.
Prabhuji, can I make a request? The last three paragraphs that you read, they are just brilliant and yet very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Might be useful for a dull person like me if you can kindly read it one more time.
Sure. Hare Krishna. If you are dull, then where will we go? So I will pick it up from the relativity of that sound. Is that fair? Or
Yes.
let's begin after Srila Jiva Goswami, because that
Okay.
Bhakti Sandarbha is where he begins from, Param Guru Maharaj. Okay. First, listen to the holy name and cultivate that sound divine. Then gradually, if we do it properly, we can find that next there is color and figure. Not drawn from this mundane world, but that sound has got its own figure and color and will show itself. Although we are presently far away from our original consciousness, when our mind is purified and we are free from worldly, mundane thinking, then like lightning, that divine name will reveal itself to us, producing some color and figure within us, within our conception. And that form will be of another type, not like the color and figure of this world. From the relativity of that sound will first come the color and figure, and next the quality. In this way, one will spring from the other. Such sound must have such color and figure, and such figure automatically must have such quality. It will come forth from within. Then again, that quality is classified according to different intensities relative to the paraphernalia. From the quality, after the quality will come the association, and it will all come from the other plane and enter within the soul's conception. Then from the name, form, quality, and associates will come their mutual transactions. The interaction between all these things, the waves and vibrations of different types, that is pastimes, Leela. And then the soul will find that his purest, finest ego, who he really is, also has a part to play in such a position. He will see his own soul in a particular place, a particular location there. He will see, in this exact spot, I am there, myself is there. In this way, the infinite wave will come.
Puji, the last but one paragraph that you read, then from the name, form, quality, and associates, I translate that in my mother tongue, Naam, Roop, Gun, or Sambandh will come mutual transaction.
Naam, Roop, Gun, Leela, Parikar, associates.
Yes. Now, actually, said in my mother tongue, then it is much more understandable than just reading in English here.
Yeah, it's true. These Sanskrit words, they have a particular power to them that English translation does not convey.
All other languages, including Hindi, are evolutionary. Not Sanskrit. By name, it is Sanskrit versus Prakrit. All other languages are Prakrit, evolutionary. Just like real revelation comes down, Sanskrit comes down. Prakrit is evolutionary, means from down to up. That is the difference. That is why it is called Dev-Nagari. Literally from the city of gods. That's what, just a crude literal sort of a translation. Dev-Nagari. Oh, this is from the city or the dwelling places of gods. Dev-Nagari. Hare Krishna. So knowledge, like we acquire knowledge or we do PhDs and other things, but Param Guru Maharaj has given us a simple sort of a understanding of what really is knowledge. Any knowledge or any branch thereof, information and any analysis that is gathered or it is entirely focused on the external environment, that is of a shadow type. It really is devoid of the real substance. May have clues or may resemble this or that or the real substance, because ultimately everything is shadow, and everything, even the shadow, has come from reality, but yet the value or the real import of simple plain shadow knowledge amounts to nothing. Because when he says that all the epics, vocabulary, history, it's all wrong. It's part of misconception. So everything has a certain degree of flaw, naturally. Why? Because it is devoid of that connection to the center. It is devoid of that representation. So any kind of jnana or knowledge, simply for the sake of acquiring it, has an inherent separate interest built into the intent. Well, why go after knowledge? Well, because I want money, because I want fame, or some such intent. So therefore, when people want to speak and then charge for their speaking engagements and whatnot, it's all meant for some intent which is not connected in any way whatsoever to the center, to reality. So therefore, all is shadow. And the moment we start using even the shadow portion, that part of energy, and connect it to the center, then we realize the potency is right there. Why? Because everything has to be of the same nature. We will find the center everywhere. Even in the circumference of the shadow world, we will find the center. But for that, the vision has to be deeper. That connection has to be perpetual. Otherwise not. But devoid of that, then we're lost. So he's always saying perverted reflection and shadow of reality. So to entirely negate this existence would also be wrong. We can't just like go, well, this is all wrong. Well, but then how would you correct yourself? Is the question, how would you get out of this nescience? If it has no meaning or is devoid of any representation of the real substance at all, then how do we correct ourselves or go through the process? But the real point is to be able to utilize anything and everything that we have to whatever extent that we can in connection with that center. Then that is good. We're told like that in a practical way. But knowledge simply for the sake of acquiring knowledge is nothing. And similarly, you can transpose this to civilizations. So civilizations, no matter how great, big, small they may be, but they're all based on this misconception and miscalculation. Their entire basis of their meritocracy is based on external characteristics, external yardsticks. Whereas if you look at anything that's connected to that center, even in the shadow world, that's why I give this example of a perfect like society, and how if it is properly functioning at a mass level, then that's varnashram. Then that would function perfectly, because it is not based on external characteristics. It is connected with inherent consciousness and is meant to elevate us to that conscious level where we can come to understand, where Param Guru Maharaj kind of begins that from here on out, we are only concerned with vastamatra vastu, shivadam tapatrayana moolanam. Nothing else. All externalities, everything else has been stricken off. But if you see the structures, even social structures around the world, they're not based on consciousness. Therefore, you will see the word Sanatan used in our vernacular. Sanatan, Dharma. Why? Because of this. Then who protects that kind of civilization? Him. Even on the gross level, on the shadow, when you understand this, without any realization, but you follow it to the best of your ability, then it is auspicious. But devoid of that, then you're nothing. So if you want, we can continue with Param Guru Maharaj to the next chapter.
Yeah.
Or we can...
we can take a pause, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe that's good.
All right. So we will meditate and we will build on everything that we went around and heard, and continue to chant on the holy names. Let me see. Is anyone available? Do you know Abba? Nobody? He's not there. Okay. Oh, there she is. Preeti ji and Anika ji, they're there. They can help us. Can you help us with the Hari Hari?
Yep.
Okay, perfect. Please go ahead whenever you're ready.
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda.
Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda
Advaita Gadadhara Shivasati Gaur Bhaktavinda.
Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta-vrinda.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Gopala Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudan.
Gopal Govinda Ram Shri Madhusudana.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra.
Shri Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Chandra
Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Guru Bhakta-vrinda.
Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda
Sanatana Bhakta Raguna.
Jaya Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath
Shri Bhagopala Bhatta Dasha Raguna.
Shri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath
Shri Gosai Kori Charana Bandhan.
Jai Gosai Kori Charana Vandana.
Jahate Vignana Vishta Puran.
Jahate Vignana Sabhishta Puran.
Gosai Garmui Taradas.
Jai Gosai Jar Muri Taradas
Tashabara Padarenu Mora Panchagras.
Asavar Padarenu Aura Panchagras
Tadara Charana Sebi Bhakta Sane Bas.
Tandra Charana Sevi Bhakta Sane Bas
Janame Mora Abhilash.
Janame Janame Morai Abhilash
Ishtai Gosai Jabe Braja Koilabas.
Jai Gosai
Jabe Braje Koilabas.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Shri Radha Krishna Nitya Leela Korila Prakash.
Anande Bala Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindavan.
Guru Vaishnava Pade Machayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Majayaman.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriyas.
Hari Nam Sankirtana Kahe Narottam-das.
Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Narottam-das.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Jadavaya Namaha.
Hariharaya Namah Krishna Yadavaya Namaha
Jadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha.
Yadavaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Namaha
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol.
Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, 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 Jaya Jaya Gurudev.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar, Jai Gauranga Sundar.
Jai Sanskar Shri Shri Guru Gauranga Dandhar Sundar, Jai Gauranga
Jai.
Rakṣhak Radha Bariya Sati Shri Srimad Bhakti Dev-Goswamī Maharāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnu Rakṣhak Radha Bariya Sati Srimad Dev-Goswamī Maharāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Rakṣhak Radha Bariya Sati Srimad Bhakti ki jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnu Maharāj ki jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnu Sakhinand Bhakti Vinodha Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Om Vishnu Maharāj ki jai.
Jai.
Varga ki jai.
Jai.
Brahmacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki jai.
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 Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Baldev Vidyabhushan ki jai.
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 Śrīla Vishwanath Thakur ki jai.
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 Śrīla Shyamananda Srinivasacharya ki jai.
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 Śrīla Vrindavan Das Thakur ki jai.
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 Śrīla Krishnadas Kaviraj ki jai.
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 Taprasad Nityananda Prabhu ki jai.
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 Taprasad Mahaprabhu ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Radha Kundagiri Govardhan ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Lakshmi Vardeva ki jai.
Jai.
Bhakti Vigna Vinashaya Shri Krishna Deva ki jai.
Jai.
Bhakta Prabhupada Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Tulsi Krishna ki jai.
Jai.
Ramana ji ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada Srimad Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita ki jai.
Jai.
Krishna Vaishnava Raja Sabha ki jai.
Jai.
Prabhupada Shikunimat ki jai.
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 Radhe Satnath ki jai.
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 Citizen Swatma ki jai.
Jai.
Mira Abhyata Desa Samat ki jai.
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 Siddhamait ki jai.
Jai.
Siddhamait ki jai.
Jai.
Indapadi Sitam Dam ki jai.
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 Baldeva Adardamachi ki jai.
Jai.
Upakadakundi ki jai. Krishna Shri Bhagandarji ki jai.
Jai.
Upakadakundi Mandal ki jai.
Jai.
Upakadakundi ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Ram Dana ki jai.
Jai.
Niti Gopinande Hari
Hari Hari Bo. Jai Om Vishnupad. Śrīla Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev-Goswamī Maharāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Om Vishnupad Śrīla Bhakti Rakṣhak Śrīdhar Dev-Goswamī Maharāj ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Bhagwan Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Vishwarenya. Jai Om Vishnupad Vishwarenya Śrīla A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Jai Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Acharya Vrinda ki jai.
Jai.
Śrīla Bhakti Pavan Janardhan Maharaj ki jai.
Jai.
Śrīla Bhakti Nirmala Acharya Maharaj ki jai. Sannasi Vrinda ki jai. Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga ki jai.
Jai.
Our divine panelist Sripad Arun Krishna Prabhu ki jai. Our divine panelist Sripad Chinmay Dev Prabhu ki jai. Our guest Nandarani Didi ki jai. Divine family Preeti ji, Bikram ji, Anika ji and family ki jai. Our Facebook personalities including Madhav Prabhu ki jai, Ranga Devi Dasi ki jai. I cannot see anyone else, but I know there's others. Sab ki jai. And Nittai Gaur Premanande. Hari Hari Bo.
Sripad Jairam Prabhu ki jai. Amadevi ki jai. Prabhu ki jai. Lavanika Devi ki jai. All the devotees ki jai.
All right.